Hey BookTube, let's see if I can still do a tag. So it's been kind of a while since I've done a video that I've pre-recorded and edited, so I may be a little rusty. Please forgive me, but let's see how this goes. I was tagged to do the Genrely Speaking book tag by Book Time with Ryan, so be sure to check out his channel if you haven't already done so. And this tag was originally created by Criminale. Prompt number 1 asks for a horrifying book that isn't horror. And this one is super easy for me because it is the June book club pick for the Black Hearts Book Club, which is run through my channel. And it's a nonfiction book called Gory Details, Adventures from the Dark Side of Science. And the author is Erica Engelhoft, who is an editor and writer for National Geographic. So she really gets down and dirty with these topics, and everything you can think of that's disgusting, horrifying, and taboo is covered in this book. And she even addresses why so many of us are morbidly curious. So I'm having a really great time reading that book with those in the group, and it's oddly comforting to know that any amount of disgust or discomfort that I'm feeling from reading about some of these topics is shared by my friends in the group. Prompt number 2 is a book with a terrible crime that isn't a crime novel. And for this one, I'm going to pick the Library Book by Susan Orlean. And this book is a result of her investigation into the 1986 arson at one of the Los Angeles Public Library branches. And that fire actually resulted in over 1 million books being either destroyed or damaged. Now, a good bit of the book is devoted to the investigation behind the arson, but most of this book was really a love letter to books, to reading, and to public libraries. And it really gave me a newfound sense of appreciation for those in my field who work in public libraries. Prompt number 3 is a book about love that isn't a romance. And for this, I'm going to choose the last book that really just gave me all the feels. It made me feel warm and cozy. It made me cry. It made me laugh. It was super endearing. And that is Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. Now, there are a few romantic relationships throughout the book, but that's not really the focal point of the book. This is really a story about an epic friendship that has a sort of love that extends even beyond life. And if you've read the book, then you kind of know where I'm going with that. Prompt number 4 is a book with a puzzle that isn't a mystery. And this one was really tough, but I think I'm going to go with We Were Never Here by Andrea Bartz. And this is a psychological thriller. I mean, I guess you could kind of classify it as a mystery, but the puzzle that's included in this book isn't really part of any sort of murder mystery. This book centers around 2 friends that have a very toxic relationship, and one of those friends, Kristen, designs this birthday scavenger hunt that includes all these riddles and little puzzles for her friend to figure out. Prompt number 5 is a book with magic that isn't fantasy. Well, I don't read a ton of fantasy, so this wasn't too hard for me to kind of pinpoint which books I've read that include some aspect of magic. And the one that I'm going to go with is The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. And I don't know, some people may classify this as fantasy, but it is more of satire to me with magical realism elements to it. It's a very interesting book. I don't know that it is for everyone, but you know the book's going to be weird when it features a walking, talking giant black cat named Behemoth as one of its main characters. Prompt number 6 is a book that thrilled you that isn't a thriller. And for this, I'm going to go with Be Not Far From Me by Mindy McGinnis. This is a young adult book, and it's really more of a tale of survival in the woods. But I really felt like this book was a page turner. It had me on the edge of my seat. I really worried about this main character, and it was pretty exciting throughout. The last prompt is a book with science that isn't science fiction, and for this I'm going to go with Entangled Life: How Fungi Make Our Worlds, Change Our Minds, and Shape Our Futures by Merlin Sheldrake. And this book deals with the really complex world of fungi. And I think if you read it, it will definitely challenge your assumptions about intelligence, and it really made me appreciate fungi so much more. So I had a lot of fun doing this tag. I'm going to tag 3 people that are in the book club with me this month, and that is Shannon at Shannon's Bookish Musings and Music, Mark over at Booktime with Elvis, and Anne at Anne with a Book. I hope you guys are having a spectacular day, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.